At least 21 people were killed in 2 Russian missile attacks on the center of Kharkiv today, according to Ukrainian officials. The attack came a day after the largest Russian airstrike since the start of the war, which killed at least 40 civilians and wounded 159. More than 158 missiles and drones flew over Ukraine. Look what a gift the Russians have given us for the new year. These people only want to do evil. They are just evil. They are bombing neighborhoods. Yet innocent people live here. How can something so terrible be done? One shell hit a hotel in the very center of Kharkiv, hitting around the 12th floor. Fortunately, people managed to escape to safety, so only 2 people were injured in the hotel. The second hit completely destroyed the nursery, and the shockwave from the explosion severely damaged surrounding buildings. Women gathered in the center of Kiev who will not be welcoming the arrival of the new year with joy. Mothers, wives, partners, and daughters of Ukrainian soldiers held in Russian captivity are calling for their return home as soon as possible. There are about 2,000 Mariupol defenders in Russian captivity. Among them is my son. We have great hope that our loved ones will be able to return by now. We would like the whole world to support us on our way to victory over an enemy that poses a threat to the whole world. I am fighting for my boyfriend, who has been in captivity for 20 months. We want them to return home, for the trials and torture to end. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, in summing up the past year, thanked the allies for their support and stressed that no matter what happens in the world in 2024, Ukraine must continue to fight for freedom and will need continued support to do so. The meeting of the Commander-in-Chief's staff was a unique summary of the year, but it was also about the year ahead. We listened to the Defense Intelligence Report and the External Intelligence Report. We learned what the occupiers are preparing for and also learned about general military political expectations and possible world events. In spite of everything that will happen in other countries, in spite of all the political changes and moods, we need enough potential to do our own thing, to achieve our goals. It is known that next year will be a time of many decisions, global decisions, but Ukraine must have influence over them to be able to achieve our goals. We will fight for our influence, for justice for Ukraine, and I am grateful to all the leaders who are helping, who have been with us since February 24th last year, have been with us this year, and will be with us in 2024. Thank you to all our soldiers. Thank you to all who work for our state and nation. Glory to Ukraine. Authorities in the capital of Kiev have imposed a curfew and a ban on fireworks on New Year's Eve. Residents of the city will not be allowed outside their homes and in public places from midnight to 5 a.m. The reason for the decision was Friday's massive attack by Russia. The city government also announced that 46 subway stations are acting as shelters around the clock in case there is an airborne alert.
Amerykanie powitają nowy rok.
Americans will welcome the new year later than Europeans. There are several time zones in the United States. The earliest to welcome the new year is New York and Washington, D.C., followed by California, which is separated from Poland by as much as 9 hours of time difference. Los Angeles, along with New York and Las Vegas, is one of the most popular places to celebrate New Year's Eve. Americans will party with family or friends at private parties, formal dinners, and balls held in hotels or casinos. A spokesman for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police reported that more than 400,000 people are expected there. Americans travel great distances to party in their dream destination. Along with Thanksgiving and Christmas, this is the day of most increased travel. It is estimated that during this year's holiday break, by air and by car, more than 100 million people travel in the U.S. A spectacular welcome to the new year will be held in accordance with more than a century-old tradition in Times Square in New York City, where a giant luminous ball will be lowered. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the New Year's Rose Parade will take place, which dates back to 1890. From Los Angeles for TV Republika, Małgorzata Schulz. On Sunday, Pope Francis remembered his predecessor, Pope Benedict, on the anniversary of his death. Benedict XVI was the first pontiff in 600 years to resign and a standard-bearer for conservatives who yearned for a more traditional church. He died on December 31st, 2022, ending a decade in which the present and former popes lived side by side in the Vatican. 1 year ago, Pope Benedict XVI ended his earthly journey after serving the Church with love and wisdom. We feel so much affection, gratitude, and admiration for him. May he bless us and accompany us. From heaven, a round of applause for Benedict XVI. After his Angelus on Sunday, Francis said he would pray for Nigeria, where at least 113 people were killed last week in clashes between herders and farmers in the state of Plateau, and for victims of a Liberian fuel tanker blast, in which at least 40 people died 2 days after Christmas.
Purtroppo, la celebrazione del Natale in Nigeria.
Sadly, the celebration of Christmas in Nigeria was marked by serious violence in the state of Plateau, with many victims. I pray for them and their families. May God deliver Nigeria from these horrors, and I also pray for those who lost their lives in the tanker truck explosion in Liberia. I wish everyone a good Sunday and bless your families. I wish everyone a peaceful end of the year, and please do not forget to pray for me. Have a good lunch and goodbye.
Buon pranzo e arrivederci.
Let's sum up the year 2023. In Poland, the most important political event was the elections. In the world, the brutal Russian invasion of Ukraine, since Russia first attacked its neighbor in February of 2022. The war in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. In sports, for us Poles, the victories of Polish tennis player Iga Świątek, who celebrated her third French Open victory in Paris. Świątek is a four-time major singles champion, having won the French Open in 2020, 2022, and 2023, as well as the U.S. Open in 2022. In the Far East, the arrival of 2024 has already been celebrated. People in New Zealand or Australia are already cleaning up after the big New Year's celebrations. New Zealanders were among the first in the world to celebrate the arrival of 2024 with a fireworks display from Auckland's 328-meter sky tower that lit up the cloudy night sky. The fireworks were accompanied by a laser light show and animation. The show lasted 5 minutes, and during its duration, 500 kilograms of pyrotechnics were fired from the tower, and the Auckland Harbour Bridge was illuminated. 2 hours later, the new 2024 was welcomed by Australians in Sydney with a dazzling fireworks show with silver and gold pyrotechnics to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the famous Opera House. The 12-minute spectacle included 36,000 lighting effects. Fireworks were launched from the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Opera House, 6 platforms on the water, and 5 rooftops of city buildings. According to the organizers, more than 8.5 tons of fireworks were used during the show. Now let's also take a look at how China and Taiwan welcomed the new year. Happy New Year to our wonderful viewers!